When we think of renewable energy sources, the first thing that comes to mind is solar energy, wind energy, or perhaps hydropower. But there is a renewable energy source that is often overlooked. Just a few kilometers beneath our feet lies enough energy to potentially meet all of humanity's requirements. It is the energy of the Earth's own heat, and surprisingly, most of the potential is untapped by us. I am referring to geothermal energy. What is geothermal energy? How does geothermal energy work, and why so much of it still not being used? If you were to dig a hole straight down into the earth, you would notice the temperature getting warmer the deeper you go. Geothermal energy can be described as thermal energy, which is generated and stored within the earth. The amount of usable energy from geothermal sources varies with depth and by extraction method. People can harness geothermal energy through direct use applications and geothermal heat pumps at depth with low temperature, whereas at depth with high temperature, electricity can be generated through geothermal power plants. Direct use applications involves the direct use of heated water from the ground without the need for any specialized equipment. The most obvious example is hot water used for bathing and swimming, but it applies only to areas where hot springs and underground reservoirs are nearest. Not all geothermal energy comes from power plants. Geothermal heat pumps uses the relatively constant temperature of the earth as the exchange medium instead of the outside air temperature. Depending on latitude, ground temperatures ranges from 7 degrees Celsius to 21 degrees Celsius. Geothermal heat pumps take advantage of these constant underground temperatures to efficiently exchange temperatures, heating homes in the winter and cooling homes in the summer. A geothermal heat pump system includes 1. An underground heat collector. This refers to a series of connected pipes buried in the ground near a building. The loop can be buried either vertically or horizontally. It circulates a fluid that absorbs or deposits heat to the surrounding soil, depending on whether the outside air is colder or warmer than the soil. 2. A heat pump. In the summertime, the earth is cooler than your home, so excess heat from the home is transferred to the ground. As the warmer water comes into contact with the ground, it naturally cools off, which then returns to your home to extract more heat from the house, and the system works in reverse in the winter. The earth is warmer than the outside air, so heat from the ground can be transferred to your home. 3. A heat distribution subsystem. Conventional ductwork is generally used to distribute heated or cooled air from the geothermal heat pump throughout the building. Most property owners can benefit from geothermal heat pumps, but it's essential to keep a few things in mind before signing a contract for installation. Installing a geothermal heat pump system is a complex process that requires skilled professionals. Poor installation can lead to system inefficiencies and increased maintenance costs. The installation of a geothermal heat pump system involves drilling boreholes or trenches for the ground loop, which can be expensive. The initial cost of a geothermal system is generally higher compared to traditional heating and cooling systems. Additionally, the feasibility of a geothermal system depends on the geology and geography of the site. Not all locations are suitable for geothermal heat pump installations, and the effectiveness of the system may vary depending on the soil or rock type. The first type of geothermal power plant is called the dry steam power plant. If an area has geothermal heat, which emits steam from the geothermal reservoir, then the steam can be directly used. The steam is extracted and directed towards the steam turbine, which is coupled with a generator. The flow of steam causes the turbine to rotate, causing generator to produce electrical energy. After that, the steam is directed towards the condenser, where it is converted into water. The water is then pumped back into the earth to begin the process again. This type of geothermal power plant is not common because steam reservoirs are rare. The second type of geothermal power plant, which is more common, is the flash steam power plant. The working principle is similar to the dry steam power plant. However, the only difference in this case is that the geothermal heat is in the form of hot water, where the temperature of water is greater than 182 degrees Celsius. The hot water is pumped from the geothermal reservoirs. The change in pressure causes some of the fluid to rapidly transform or flash into steam. The steam then drives the turbine coupled with a generator to produce electricity. Indonesia is a developing country in Southeast Asia. Due to Indonesia's geography, it is often reported that Indonesia has 40% of the world's potential geothermal resources, estimated at 28,000 megawatts, the largest in the world. However, currently, only 2,356 megawatts is being utilized. The primary energy supply in Indonesia is mainly based on fossil fuel energy sources like oil, coal, and gas, because they are a cheap source of energy to support the economic growth. And furthermore, Indonesia has weak emission standards. Even with high potential of geothermal energy, it is not attractive to investors in the short term because it takes years to develop and other risk factors to consider. Moreover, local people are also not interested in green energy because the issue of green energy is not popular in Indonesia as there are cheaper alternatives. Indonesia also lacks engineers in the field of renewable energy. Due to these reasons, I couldn't find an interesting installation topic using renewable energy sources, passive or sustainable solutions in my country on an example of a building. However, I tried to show in this video what could be possible through geothermal energy and the possible installations utilizing geothermal energy in residential building.